You're listening to Free Mama Radio, where we believe you can have both a successful business and show up as the mom you want to be. I'm your host, Lauren Golden, a mom who built a full-time income working part-time hours. Now, I help other moms like you learn how to work from home on your own terms, take control of your schedule, and make more money so you can live a totally awesome, guilt-free life. I am on a mission to make sure that no mother has to choose between family and financial stability. So if you've been wondering, can I really have it all? This podcast will give you the answers. Hey-o! It looks like we finally made it work. Oh my goodness gracious. Okay, we're so excited to be here with you guys today. If you are new, I go live every single Monday. My name is Lauren Golden. I'm the founder of the Free Mama and the Free Mama Movement every Monday at noon or noon-ish. If Facebook is not cooperating, we start troubleshooting as rapidly as we possibly can so that we can come serve you. And today I'm so excited because we have a guest with us. So I'm actually going to pull up Facebook in a tab so I can see you guys and your comments because it makes this so much more fun. But if you guys can actually see us, and if you know who my guest is today, give us a little shout out before we get started here.
Hello, everybody.
That's exactly right. We go for noon-ish. All right. Okay, we're here. The eyeballs are starting to come on. All right, you guys, we are coming in from StreamYard today because Facebook's just like not being very nice ever since Mark Zuckerberg decided that we're not going to do this. So we go through all the ways to troubleshoot and come here with you guys. But I'm super excited because today we have a really great conversation about to happen between me and this beautiful woman sitting next to me I'm about to introduce. We have a multifaceted relationship, meaning I consider her a friend, but I'm also her coach inside of the Inner Circle. She was one of my very first students inside of the Movement Maker Accelerator back in 2019. Yeah, like the first half of 2019. And that's when she really took off. And that's when I got to know her. I remember my very first conversation with her still very intimately, like what she wanted to do. And what's really beautiful is that now 2 years later, she's doing it and she's helped so many people. And she is literally like living her dream, not just to like spread the news and impact other people, especially other women like her, which we'll let her tell her story and her mission here in a minute. But also little things like, I remember the first time she told me she like got to take a vacation with her husband, and it was like these little life-changing things. And I think if you're listening, you know that that's a big part of what we do here. Like we might set really big goals for ourselves, but like how you spend your days is how you spend your life, right? And so to have these little life-changing things happen along the way, it's indescribable, right? So, okay, if you guys are not familiar with this human, this is Noemi. She is the founder of Mom Accounts and has been an accounting and tax professional for over 10 years. She's owned a successful virtual bookkeeping firm for 5 of those and has found a way to make full-time income working from home, working part-time hours. So you know that we get along because I am big on teaching people how to do that. She wants to teach other moms that they can do it too, and she's doing it. Her passion is to help mamas stay home with their kids while not giving up their career aspirations. And she wants women to have the flexibility and freedom to be the amazing mamas they are and to have confidence to go after their dreams. Her message to all mamas is you count. Noemi, welcome. I'm so happy to have you here today.
Thank you so much, Lauren. It's a true honor to be able to share this space with you. And it's like conversations that we had. I clearly remember our first conversation as well too, where like we talked so much, so you know we couldn't shut each other up because we were just talking.
So let's go back to that conversation since you remember it too. Tell everybody, like, what did you share with me back in 2019? Like, let's go past tense. Like, as we were getting to know each other, what did you share with me in terms of like, this has been kind of my life, my story, my journey up until now. And then maybe take us forward of like, why did you do the Movement Maker Accelerator? And what is it that you wanted to do that you now are living out?
Yeah, definitely. Well, I'm a teen mom. I was a mom super young. I found myself with 2 babies by the time I was 19, married my high school sweetheart. And that in itself was a challenge, right? It was super hard to be such a young mother. I don't think we're ever prepared to be a mother, because I had my third baby at 25. But even at that age, it's still hard to be a mom, right? It doesn't matter. So my husband and I were really just going through the learning how to become an adult, how to, shift from being a young teenager to now a mom and a dad, and really just thinking that the only way I was going to be able to provide for my family and help my husband was going to college, getting a job, and then just working for the rest of my life. That was what I thought was how I was destined to be. And I come from a Hispanic home where my parents migrated here to the US with the, American dream. Like, you come to the United States and you're going to come to work, to have a house, and like have a better life than what you can in Mexico, because unfortunately where we're from, it is a very poor area in Mexico. So that's why my dad brought us here with that, mentality. So my thoughts were, go to school, get a degree, work, 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 work. And that's your American dream. Like the biggest thing we aspired was having our house. And like, once you had your house, like you were living your American dream, right? So obviously to me, things happened completely opposite. I was a mom first before I even, got married. I was, working at a job before I even finished college. So I did things completely opposite. And it was definitely learning steps that I know and I believe got me to where I am right now. Like I look at my son, he's now 16 years old. Like I can't believe I have a 16-year-old now. And I go back and think about like, man, like he really motivated me to be who I am right now. And even my kiddos have really, made me learn the fact that I don't want to be working forever just to pay a mortgage. Like I don't want to be working all the time just to have the, a mortgage and a car note. Even with my husband, unfortunately, his legal status has always been up in the air, because I'm a US citizen, he wasn't. So the whole legal process of it was just overwhelming. So it's like, I feel that I had everything against me to like be able to come out and do good in the United States. I remember being so young and I had someone tell me, well, yeah, you're Mexican. All you're going to be good at is having kids. And that's all you're going to be good at. And like, oh, that like really would crush me. And I would always have that in the back of my head, even until now. Sometimes I think about it because it's like, there's nothing wrong with just being a mother. Like it's a beautiful thing, right? It's the most beautiful vocation that we can have. But it's like, I know that I can do more. I know that I can have a professional business. I know that I can wear a suit and look good if I wanted to, but falling into that routine of like college and, school and work, and the first 2 years of my first two kids' lives, I really wasn't there for them. And I think that hurts my soul so much, because I was always school, work, until I had my third baby and my daughter. And I said, I'm done. Like I'm exhausted. I was working 40, 50, sometimes 60 plus hour jobs a week because it was tax season, or stuff like that. And like, I didn't want that anymore. Even though I worked and my husband worked, we never had money. Like we were still broke. We're like, what the heck? This doesn't make sense. But I think the moment that we definitely said, you know what, we need to like swim against the current, stop trying to continue to put ourselves in what society says we're going to be, and I was always in the back burner of like, I don't want to be that statistic of a teen mom doesn't make it in life, or a teen mom doesn't like do something better in their life, like better in the sense of like living off of government funding and stuff like that. Like I didn't want to fall in that statistic. And I think that when we realized of like, you know what, we have to do something different. I remember I told my husband, I no longer want to work. I am tired of working. I never had laundry done. Like my kids were never in activities. And I said, I'm tired of that. Like we're having another baby. I need to be home. So that was my kind of cue of just saying, I'm not going to work anymore. And, I'm just going to dedicate myself to the home, which is what in our culture, a lot of women do, right? Like you have your babies and then you just stay home with your babies, which is beautiful. But I've always been a go-getter. I've always been, the kind of person like, I need to be doing something more. And it's funny because my husband told me that exact same thing. He's like, Mija, that's fine. You want to stay home? That's perfectly fine. but I know you and I know you're going to end up doing something. So I thought that was very funny that he said that, because in actually the spring of 2015, after I had my daughter, I took the first year in like almost 10 years off of tax season, because she was a baby. I had her in December, so I wasn't going to work that following tax season. And my dad, who is actually a tax preparer and does that for himself, he said, "Hey, I have a client that needs bookkeeping, payroll, and services that come with the business. You were working in that. Why not serve now a new client?" And I was freaking out because I was like, I don't have an office, number one. I don't have a business, number two. Like, I don't even have a business name. I said, can I work from home doing this? I remember Googling how to work from home as a bookkeeper. I didn't think it was possible. And my dad said, just take him on. He's like, I'll let you borrow my office so you can meet with him and just go from there. And I think my dad plays a huge, huge part, definitely, in the motivation, because he taught me a lot of things and he gave me my first client, which from there, it just grew and turned into what is now an accounting firm making over 6 figures a year. I mean, that is crazy to me because I got to pinch myself a lot and like, man, is that real? Because to me, again, it was working minimum wage jobs. The most I could make, I think the most I ever made working a year was like $30,000, where I didn't think I could make more because I would limit myself to that. And I mean, coming across you, I remember it was early of 2019 because my dad said, you need to expand on your own, because I would still use his office sometimes to meet with clients. He's like, you need to go off on your own. I'm like, but I don't have a place. Again, I would freak out. Like, what am I doing? And my husband said, well, I'll put up an office for you in the home. Do something. And again, I remember trying to research, how can I grow my business from home? And you came up. You came up and I was like, the free mama, let me see what that is. When it said the free mama, funny thing, I always thought, oh, she's giving away stuff for free.
Yeah, you're not the first person. I have a reel for that, actually. Yeah,
So funny.
your freedom, not my free.
So I was like, okay, well, let me see what she has for free.
Lots of stuff.
And I did come across your group. Like, I think back in the day, your group was probably like at 10,000. It wasn't even as huge as it is now.
Yeah.
And then just consumed, binge watched all of your YouTube, all of your lives. I was there. I remember even reaching out to you once, and it's like, oh my gosh, like, I started to listen to you and started to really make sure that what you were teaching I put it into practice in my firm. And I'm not going to lie, just by learning from all of your free content, I mean, within 6 months, I was closing clients like every week. So I went from like having maybe like 10 clients that I did on a monthly basis to having like 35 at the end of the year of 2019, because it was crazy. Yeah. And it was just everything that you teach. Like, it was crazy. And I remember when we came across the movement makers, I was really excited that my firm was growing, but then I said, I need to do something more. I need something more, because to me, I had already learned bookkeeping, taxes, payroll. That to me was like so easy. Like, I could do it in my sleep. Like, I could do stuff really quick in my mind, and it wasn't exciting for me. And then I felt kind of bored, even though, yes, the income started to come and it like really scaled. But then I started to get bored in my firm. And then again, it's like, I don't know, I believe in God putting us in these connections. And when I felt bored, you came out with the movement makers. And I was like, oh, I have to give Lauren my money.
You're so funny. Well, that's not exactly how that happened from my
No,
perspective.
it's not.
But I remember during our first conversation together, Noemi, you had such a passion. And it's interesting. I always write down notes when I do these interviews, like little things that I learned from you guys. And it's just always really exciting. But something I picked up on from you is that a lot of what society was telling you, not just society like the way America is today and whatnot, and kind of our culture and the way we talk to women, but also your native culture, your Latina roots. And this was a big part of your motivation, and so you kept saying these things fueled you. This idea of like everybody telling you, well, you're just going to stay home, fueled you. These people who told you, you can't go on and do XYZ, like that fueled you to want to do it anyway. And I'm really similar. Like I always joke the fastest way to get me to do something is to tell me I can't.
Yeah.
But when we first met, you had such this passion of like, especially in my community, this Latina community, there aren't very many examples of women going on to do it. And that was like really important to you. Do you want to kind of talk about that and maybe weave in like some of your recent success, like on, I don't know, TikTok and other social platforms, like how you're now able to take like this skill set that you have and create like almost a whole new business, same umbrella, but almost a whole new business connecting with this passion point for you? What's that been like?
I think even until right now, like I get super emotional. Like sorry if I cry or get like my voice breaks down, because really is something that really fueled me of when I knew and I saw so many Latina women's. I mean, again, our culture, I think, sometimes really doesn't allow women to expand yet. You'll have very, very limited women who are in that field, that are like doing it, right? Or they put a name for themselves. And you hear it definitely with like maybe like artists and stuff like that, famous movie stars, but you don't hear it so much in the accounting tax field. Like it's very limited. I can probably point out maybe 5 girls that I know from that field who are Latinas to really, who are doing amazing jobs. And I've connected with them because it's like, we have to stick together, right?
Yes.
Um, but I think definitely the passion where that came in is where it's like, my husband, he's been a very supportive husband all the way around, from when we started, but there's husbands who are not, unfortunately. And we get a lot of that machismo, like the macho guy, right? Because it's somehow still embedded in our culture. It's somehow still embedded right now, which is like, I don't want my daughter to see that. I don't want her to see it. And I don't want her to grow up thinking, well, I have to go to college and that's going to be the only way for me to make it in life. I don't want her thinking that there's anything wrong with being home, because it's like, I love being home, right? But I also love that I can bring money home to our home and help my husband. We're a team. It's not him and me down here. Like we're a team. We build things together. And unfortunately, in our culture, it's always the man is the one making all the money and not the wife. And I think it was very interesting the moment that I started to make more than my husband, because I'm sure even in his brain, he was kind of like, wait, what? But he really opened up to kind of like, oh, wow, this is great. Like we're doing this together. And recently my TikTok definitely like blew up because I started to really talk about and serve my community using my talents, which is knowing English and Spanish, and really just serving and giving information bilingually, which puts me in front of those ideal women who like can and want to start this business. Because a lot of the ladies that I've came across the other day was like just freakingly scary of how like identical this post of one of these moms made in the Facebook group, because it's who I was literally like 8 years ago, working for somebody in a tax firm, and they were tired of those hours, but they wanted to do it on their own and they didn't know how. And I think TikTok really nailed in putting me in front of those women. And the comments, the ladies in my group who would like talk about, oh my gosh, Noemi, like that I want to do what you're doing, and like serving their community with even just locally sometimes with both languages, being like this person who is like, oh, she's the professional, she's the expert, she knows what she's doing. And I think that has really given a lot of women that like, I can do this. Like I can do this too. Noemi can do it. She's Mexican. She's bilingual. She's Latina. She has a husband. She has kids. She stays home. She's a college dropout, because I am a college dropout, and I actually say it with pride because it's like
I think that is amazing because of how many excuses you're dispelling for other people. Like for anyone sitting there going like, well, I became a mother as a teenager. Like, I can't do this. gone. Like I don't have a college degree, gone. Like and that's all it takes, right? There's this thing in kind of the marketing world of like, it's like, if they can do it, then it's possible. And if they can do it, then I can do it. Like once we know something is possible, then it can become possible for us. So I know that just as your coach and your friend, like watching you and watching you be so transparent and so vulnerable about your past experiences, that it would be easy to write off and say like, well, I can't do this thing. And you're like, yeah, no, I'm doing it. And it's not that it's easy all the time, but it is possible, and I think you're a really great model, not just to the Latina community, but to all mothers about what is possible for them. So I know that you've been working on something really, really hard that is coming up in just like a couple weeks. And so do you want to let everybody know a little bit about what that is?
Yes, I would love to. So, on top of the firm actually growing and now kind of running on its own, where I have a team that takes care of a lot of the things for my firm. So, I'm just kind of like the presence and kind of just, things with my firm. I built what is called Mom Accounts, and Mom Accounts in itself has turned into a bookkeeping course where even the movement now, teaching other moms the skill set of bookkeeping, so that they can also work from home. And the last 6 months, because I remember having this conversation with you when we had Inner Circle retreat in Fort Lauderdale, I said, how do I do an online event? So it's been, over 6 months in the making. And we're finally getting it down where in 2 weeks, I'm going to have the first ever online Mom Accounts Live Summit for aspiring bookkeepers, established bookkeepers, bookkeepers who kind of, need to go to the next level with their business. Because for me, it has been a whole big learning process of you need to build community, and being part of the Free Mama is where I know that I have been able to go to next level, being part of Inner Circle, being part of a coaching program, to have someone to guide me, is what has been contributing to. I like stuttering my words because of the two languages that I always have going in my brain.
I find it very endearing. I know you do this. You take a deep breath, and whenever you're ready, it'll come out.
It's stuck. Like my brain wants to say it in Spanish. That's why. No, yeah. So we've been working super hard for this, and really just bringing out a free event to everybody, who wants to build community, master some skill sets, have accessibility to workshops, and then just mainly building community, because I think that's where it really starts when you're starting a business. Like you shouldn't go through this alone, because if you do go through stuff alone, like you'll get discouraged and you'll not want to do it. So the summit is going to be November 11th, 12th, and 13th. And then we take a break on that Sunday, which then will be on the 15th, finishing up. But you're going to get so much out of it, have amazing speakers. You're going to be one of them, of course.
I'm so excited.
And then also some other amazing speakers that are going to be joining us in different areas that are really going to show you how to, set yourself up as a business, how to be your own brand, how to really stand up and really show, your talents and putting this into your business. Diving into workshops of specific bookkeeping businesses, and then having accountable actions and what to do next, so that way you're not going through this alone, because you shouldn't go through a business by yourself.
Yeah, I'm so excited. You guys can sign up as a free mama. It's a free summit. I don't know if she said that. And actually, like, I hate to go all coach on you, Noemi, but like, this isn't a summit like a traditional summit, you guys. Like, I've kind of been talking some smack against summits lately. And it's because number one, there's a million of them. I get about 2 requests a day to speak in a summit, and I'm kind of summit burnt out. And the reason for that is because I'm so action oriented, me personally, but also it's what I try to get you guys to do. You can't sit there and just be a consumer and change your life. And most summits are very passive. She's calling it a bookkeeper summit, but it's really more workshopy. Like, I've looked at the agenda, I've looked at the speakers. Like, you're gonna get that workshop, meaning you're actually going to be doing practical things that are going to shift the needle to move forward. So it's a free event. Go to youcount.thefreemama.com. I know there's an upgrade option. I'm not quite sure what all of the secret sauce is if you guys become a VIP, but I know in my experience, always go all in. Like, if you're going to do something, don't play small, because if you play small, you're going to get small results. So play big, play full out, and then you're going to get those big results as you go through it. So again, you guys can check out youcount.thefreemama.com. I'm going to be there. I'm so excited. And like Noemi said, this is not something that her and her team just threw together. They've been working on it since this spring. And so I'm just really excited that it's all coming together. And so again, you want to let us know, maybe like, I know you said bookkeepers and aspiring bookkeepers. You want to let us know, like, what are 3 big takeaways that someone can expect to get from this event? Like crunchy stuff, like where, or any as for the aspiring bookkeepers, like what are 3 things they can do to get started both within this event or maybe on their own afterwards?
Yeah, definitely. One of the main things, well, 3 things that you're definitely going to get out of this is number 1, community, because community is going to be a huge part in building your business. And I think it's super important to get to know that there's other people doing what you do. And kind of like what you say, you think you've talked about it enough, but you really haven't, because there's still people who haven't heard what you do. And there's still people that you think you're doing this by yourself, but you're not. Like, there's a whole community out there. So that's going to be number 1. Number 2 is going to be definitely mindset, because if it's something that I've learned as being an entrepreneur, is your mindset is huge when it comes to growing a business and like the next level things that happen and stuff like that. So making sure that you are putting your mindset and shifting your mindset in the right way as you're starting this business or as you're going through this journey in business, that's what you're going to get as well. And then the third will definitely be, having an actionable step for you to take, either launching your business, either talking more about your business, either growing your business, or allowing you to definitely take things to the next level. Because I think those 3 things are super important in the business of bookkeeping. And even just the workshops, right? Picking one of those workshops. The workshops, though, are for the upsell for the VIP ladies. Again, I think it's a no-brainer for the VIP 100%. And I think I should have changed the name Summit. After a while, I was like, I don't think mine is a summit. But I don't know, that was fancy. That's why I put it.
So funny. Okay, so for anybody listening right now that maybe they're not already bookkeeping, they're like, got it, I need mindset, I need community, but I don't actually know how to be a bookkeeper. Where should those people start? What's one thing that those people can go do today to start learning something, either from you or about actually like accounting?
So I'm definitely going to say, sign up for the free summit. Because you're going to have the opportunity to explore those different things that you can niche down within bookkeeping. And then definitely join my group, the Mom Accounts Bookkeeping Community on Facebook. I do free trainings every Thursday. I have a whole free section in the guides where it gives you where to go, how to learn this. And then definitely start engaging within that community. Start really asking questions. If you're not sure where to start, like I said, in the group, definitely have, your steps by step for free for you to go. You don't have to learn it from me. Like, I want you to learn it from me, right? But there's so many free resources that if you definitely buckle down, you can learn it. It's going to take you longer, because that's what I did at the beginning, actually. Tried to do things on my own, and it took me way longer than I think where I should have taken me. But you can definitely learn it by yourself. You can learn it for free, and you can definitely grow. But again, I'm always going to go back to the community. You need that support 100%.
Yeah, that's so good. Okay, we will drop all of these links inside the show notes for you guys to make sure you guys can join her Facebook group. I'm going to insist that if you're on TikTok, you go follow her, because she's crushing it. And again, you guys can sign up for the free summit at youcount.thefreemama.com. Noemi, before we wrap up, and I know you've had this decade-long journey as a bookkeeper, working in accounting, doing taxes. I know you do notary stuff. You guys, there's so much you can learn from her. Seriously, it's not just be a bookkeeper. She stacks on. So make sure you guys follow her to look for those additional streams of revenue. But I also know that once you came into this community, like you're so passionate about, like it was like supercharged, right? Like now you had different streams of revenue. You're also impacting more people, which is so, so beautiful. So I know you know our mission to make sure that no mother has to choose between family and financial stability. So knowing that, knowing everything you shared so openly with us today, what is your final piece of advice for all of our listeners?
I think the final piece of advice that I would give every single one of you ladies is know that there is nothing that can stop you from doing what you need to be doing. And it's not what you want to be doing, it's what you need to be doing. Because I think what I tell my girls a lot is, the reason why we do this, number one, always is for our family, yes, but how are we wanting our lives to really look like? And the big question that I always say, are you alive or just breathing? Because it makes a big difference. Being alive is way, way different than being just going through life, mom routine, the everyday things that we already do automated in our brain. So it's just so automated. And I think being able to put that brain power of automation that we have into implementing to learning something new, is going to definitely benefit you down the line. And you're going to know that, even like Lauren said at the beginning, the little wins of being able for me and my husband take a weekend away that we had never taken before. Those little things are going to make your family much better, your relationship much better, and you're going to feel so much better and more accomplished in every way.
And now you got your husband coming with you to marketing masterminds for like entire weeks. You got him to drink the Kool-Aid. So exciting. I bet he doesn't mind that you're out earning him now, does he?
Oh, he does not. He loves it. And just between us, I don't think he's in this group, but even himself, he says, I'm all in. He was that guy that was running into fat hacking.
That is so funny. Oh, we love it when our spouses get on board, and we could do a whole nother episode about spouses.
Oh,
but
yeah.
Just know, you guys, like if you're in a position where you're like, they don't, they're not supportive, or they don't get it, or they're not showing up the way that I want them to, the fastest way to get them doing what you want is to go out and do the work and get the results. Because as soon as you are getting results, they're going to be on your side. So you got to put your money where your mouth is and start doing the work. That's awesome. Well, Noemi, thank you so much for coming on and pouring into our community. You are always such a breath of fresh air. And you're so passionate and committed to what you do. I'm so excited to be a part of your summit/event/workshop /live awesome takeover of the bookkeeping internet next weekend. It's going to be amazing. So you guys make sure you don't miss it. Go to youcount.thefreemama.com and then check out the show notes at freemamaradio.com later this week. And you guys can get access to all of the ways to follow Noemi and the amazing things she's doing. So, all right, you guys, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Noemi, thank you so much.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Free Mama Radio. Don't forget to check out Free Mama TV right here on YouTube for hundreds of how-to videos and interviews to help you start, grow, and scale a virtual business from home. If you want to join a community of tens of thousands of moms just like you, make sure you join the Free Mama Movement group over on Facebook. And lastly, if you want to learn more about how we can do this together, work to achieve your goals, and make you our next success story, check out my free training at thefreemamamovement.com. I'll see you next time.